So 45 people have died after the bus they were traveling in lost control and plunged off a bridge and then caught fire on the Mamatlakala mountain pass between Mokopane and Marken. They were traveling from Botswana to St Engenas ZCC in Moria for the Easter conference.
Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga has sent her condolences to the grieving families and the Botswana government. Chikunga and Limpopo Transport MEC Florence Radzilani were scheduled to conduct a road safety operation campaign at the Kranskop Toll Plaza when they received the news of the crash. And Newzroom Africa's Nqobile Madlala joins us now live from the scene. Nqobile, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Tell us about what you can see from your vantage point.
Good morning, Aldrin. So we've had to move just a bit further away from the scene, about 1 kilometer away, because of the fact that there's no signal in the area. However, what we could see when we got there is that you can almost see that the bus was trying to brake for a long distance, and it lost control completely, because you can see the skid marks on the floor, which just shows they look very dark, and you can see that the person was trying to stop for quite some time. But also you can see the barricades that are broken on the side of the roads, and the way the bus actually just went from one side to the other end of the pillar, which is probably a couple of meters away, to hit on the rocks. The bus is completely flattened. You can see that it just burnt, and everyone's clothes is on the floor. You can still see some of the marks from the blood. It's just a sad one, and you can just see, Aldrin, that it was just a gruesome accident when it happened. And the people that had seen, because we did speak to some of the communities that had gone to see what was happening, they're explaining to us that when they were there, it was very difficult to watch, that it was almost traumatic for them to watch, even though they were not happy, of course, to speak to us on camera, but they were just saying it's almost traumatic. What we understand at this very point, having spoken to traffic in Limpopo, is that so far the police have been able to take out 20 bodies. So they are expected at about 9 o'clock to come back here and continue searching for more bodies. In the area, there's already water that passes through. So just to put you on the map, we are on R518. We are told that the option from Botswana that mainly people use would be the N11, but people then use this R18, and it's very mountainy and it's very windy, so it requires somebody that really knows the area, which is what a lot of people think happened, that maybe the driver did not know the area and had difficulties driving in the area. But of course the police are still investigating all of that, and there's water just underneath that bridge. So as you stand there, you can see people's clothing. You can see some of the items going through that river, some of the stuff that just flung on the outside of the river. So you can just imagine how difficult it has been. We are also told that the survivor was also did not go in with the bus, but what happened was, as the bus was leaning on the side of the barricade, it threw some people out, and it seems the survivor was one of the people that were thrown out. And by the time it crashed, there were some of the people that flung out, being thrown into the trees, and so some of the bodies had to be collected from there. And of course it burnt completely into ashes, so there's some of the DNA that now has to be looked into, just to ensure that everyone's body or everyone's remains have been found. We do understand that the officials are speaking to the families. Also, we know that the driver or the owner of the bus was already at the church, and so they had to break the news to the owner of the bus in terms of what was happening, and that's how they collected a number of the list of how many people were in that bus.
Nqobile Madlala, thank you so much for your time, and just listening into the description and the eyewitness account of what happened. Devastating news.